Building Ideas is proudly brought to you by the Master Builders Association.
We got ideas,
Building
a
ideas,
whole new direction.
building ideas,
It's time for change.
building ideas,
Dreaming is over.
building ideas,
Building ideas, gonna build it from the heart. Gonna show you how to make a start. We got ideas,
building
ideas.
ideas,
You want some building ideas? We got some building ideas.
Don't you just love this magnificent garden and even more magnificent home? I feel like I'm in a romantic movie set somewhere in Georgia. What with these striking square piers and the bold portico that's all been highlighted so beautifully with a cast iron fence and gate. I'm sure you've already guessed this home has been built by Shepard Constructions, and the client's brief was very specific. They wanted something low maintenance, secure and private and very luxurious, and they have delivered on every single wish. Simplicity and elegance were paramount, along with a strong focus on traditional symmetrical lines and themes throughout. As with many of Alan's clients, the owners of this home were heavily involved in all facets of the home's design and construction, so they were well informed on all aspects of the build. And working so closely with the building team meant they were able to achieve exactly what they set out to do, which is usually quite a challenge. Would you believe that this is actually the third home that these particular clients have built with Shepard Constructions? Now, you don't get a better reference than that. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't any challenges, but the challenges they did have were well and truly overcome. One of them being that this is actually quite a narrow block, so it was essential that Alan got his in-house designer to come in and work out how they could get natural light to flood into different living areas. But more about that later. The first step was to demolish an existing dwelling, filling the front yard by just under a metre and retaining the northern, eastern and western boundaries. All that before any actual building activity could even occur. This residence has a western aspect, so various environmental considerations were taken into account to ensure year-round comfort for the home's owners. I'm a big fan of the Georgian style, and this property encapsulates that so perfectly. Even the colour of the render is just beautiful. The identical fluted columns, they work really well. They're very stunning and sophisticated, but they're not too ostentatious. That feeling is carried right throughout the entire home, and I can't wait to show you. But first of all, this is what we have on today's program. Terry looks a little deeper into the potential pitfalls of DIY. We'll check out a great iconic Australian building product that's revolutionised the way we build. We'll have some handy home security tips thanks to the South Australian Police. And we'll have some interior styling advice from one Rundle that will definitely help spruce up your home. To get us started, I'm joined by Ian Marcos, who's the CEO of the Master Builders. And Ian, it was great having a chat with you a couple of weeks ago and giving us some insights about the building industry, but I really want to know today, what does it mean to be a Master Builder?
Master Builders stretch right across the whole industry, from commercial constructors that build our schools and hospitals and major infrastructure, to specialist contractors, to individual master tradespeople like brickies, carpenters, electricians, plumbers, tilers, painters, and of course, most importantly, home builders.
I know Master Builders are bound by a code of ethics, and they're professionally trained and licensed, and they continue to upskill their knowledge to ensure they're at the cutting edge when it comes to all things building related. So if you're a member of the Master Builders, that means something, doesn't it?
Certainly does, and for the first time in 135 years, the Master Builders has opened up individual membership, which is quite good for the consumer as well as those that are Master Builders. So we have now certified trade professionals and certified construction professionals, and these people are virtually the best in the industry. They've demonstrated that through the work that they've done, their ongoing study and education, and high levels of customer service. So, I'd say to anybody that's looking at renovating or building a house, first of all check whether or not they are a Master Builder, but then have a look also and see if they're a certified trade or a certified construction professional. And you'll be able to see that by the logo or by the post nominals after their name, CCP or CTP.
Well, with all those qualifications, are they more expensive?
No, I'd be very clear on this. You know, it costs nobody any extra money at all to have a master builder or a certified construction professional do work on their home. No additional costs whatsoever. It's just a demonstration of their professionalism and their quality, so there's no reason why you wouldn't go for peace of mind and ensure that you get a master builder.
Be crazy not to.
Absolutely.
We got some building ideas. You want some building ideas? We got some building ideas. You want some building ideas? We got some building ideas.
You know, it's one thing to build a fancy new home or to finally finish that greatly anticipated renovation, if that's actually possible. But what happens next? Well, for me, that is when the real fun begins. It's when you can let your creative juices start to run wild and begin the decorating process. But a word to the wise, this process can go horribly wrong horribly quick. If you don't know what furnishings to put where, what artwork goes where, what goes with what. And I tell you what, it could be riddled with arguments, but thankfully, that is what One Rundle Trading is here for. They've got stores in two great locations, Dulwich and Henley Beach, and they specialise in magnificent homewares as well as interior design and styling. Their aim is to inject timeless appeal with freshness and vitality. All of the products and the service they provide are anything but ordinary, and their specialists will help you achieve a look that's not only unique, but also reflects the way you want to live. Josephine, I walk into One Rundle Trading and I'm overwhelmed by the trinkets and the knickknacks, and I don't know where to start.
We tend not to call them knickknacks and trinkets,
there you
but
go.
that's fine. That's a rookie error.
Sure.
We tend to describe them as decorative accessories.
Thank you.
So they have a bit more weight than knickknacks and
Trinkets.
trinkets. Okay. What we concentrate on is things with impact, things which will have a long shelf life. So they're not going to be discarded. They're not going to be landfill next year.
Homes these days are quite a neutral colour palette.
Yeah.
So how do people know whether to use colour or to stick with those tones, and how do you guys help with that?
We've probably all been into houses offered for sale where the colour has gone horribly wrong. and I know of houses that just have not sold because there have been too many strong colours in rooms and everyone's walked in and walked out straight away.
How does artwork affect that and the use of artwork within a home?
Yeah. Well, when you've created the neutral palette that most of us do, it's wonderful to have the freedom and the confidence to inject a really strong piece of art that has spoken to you very personally. So what we try and do is offer original works of art that people can commission. I have one of my dear friends working with me at the moment, an Indigenous artist. Her name's Deborah Nangala McDonald. Her work is ancient but very relevant and often features really strong colour that she interprets like nobody else that I've seen working.
Well, whether you need one signature piece of artwork or the team at One Rundle to help design and furbish your whole home, come and see them here in Dulwich or at Henley Square. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. Hey, you might even end up in their lookbook. Josephine, are we going to see you in a couple of weeks' time?
I hope so, Terry.
All right, between now and then, should we just do some
Let's
shopping?
let's have a
Yeah,
walk.
good.
Some great inspiration there from One Rundle on how we can make our house a home and feel happy and safe and secure, which leads us to our next segment, which is about home security. Our home really should be a place where we can relax and kick back, but sometimes it can go astray when we're broken into, and believe it or not, all too often there are still too many break-ins. The most common methods criminals use to break into our homes include breaking windows, jimming doors and windows, and would you believe, gaining access through doors and windows that have been left unlocked. So the most obvious thing to do is to lock your doors and windows. Acting Sergeant Julie Jones knows a thing or two about preventing home break-ins. Julie, how many residential break-ins actually occurred in the past year?
There's been approximately 8,100 break-ins reported to police, so the period between July 2016 and April 2017.
And just out of interest, what methods do the criminals use to break in?
The most common methods used is by smashing or breaking windows and doors or jamming windows and doors. Of concern are those break-ins that have occurred where windows and doors have been left unlocked and were potentially preventable.
How can people best protect their homes?
Firstly, lock all your windows and doors, especially when outside or away from the home. Ensure that all gates that allow access to the rear yard are also locked at all times. Install sensor lights to the front and back of the house, as well as consider having an alarm installed. Ensure all house keys and vehicle keys are left in a secure location, as these can potentially be used by criminals to regain access to your home or even steal your car. Keep the front yard free of debris so that the house looks cared for, as well as making sure that all trees and shrubs are trimmed back so that the front of the house is not obstructed from the street. Make sure that all tools or any other items that can be used to gain access to your home are kept in a secure location. Stolen property that can clearly be identified is very hard to on-sell. So we do recommend that items of value are engraved with a driver's licence number or marked in another way, which also helps police identify them. We also recommend that you do make a list of serial and model numbers of electrical items, as well as taking photographs of any unique jewellery.
So what are the police doing to prevent home break-ins?
SAPOL have actually developed a home security booklet that has a lot of very useful tips that residents can use to help keep their home secure. Within that booklet is also a home security checklist that residents can use themselves to identify any gaps in their own home security.
Some great advice there, thank you, Julie. So if you see anything suspicious, ring Crime Stoppers.
We got some building ideas. You want some building ideas? We got some building ideas. You want some building ideas? We got some building ideas.
Yes, we love showcasing new and innovative products on Building Ideas, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the latest is the greatest. In fact, there's an Australian iconic brand that comes to mind when talking about great products. Now, hold on to your hats, but I'd go so far as to say that they actually revolutionised the building industry when they developed their product some 50 years ago. I've got your attention now, haven't I? Do you know who it is? Do I need to give you some more clues? I'm talking about COLORBOND steel, and I reckon that most homes being built across Australia even today have got some element of COLORBOND steel within it. Be it for roofing, gutters and downpipes, or fascias, roller doors, fences, sheds, COLORBOND steel can be used. There's no doubt our Australian climate can be harsh, so it's imperative that our homes and buildings can withstand those conditions. COLORBOND steel has been tested and developed for almost 50 years in some of Australia's harshest conditions, delivering proven durability and long life performance. Would you believe there are over 12,000 panels being tested across Australia at this very minute, in environments ranging from moderate to very severe marine environments and from tropical to industrial locations. The COLORBOND steel range of designer colours offers a classic and contemporary palette to enhance the beauty of every home style. Where better to look for inspiration than in Australia's own backyard? From our creek beds to beaches, COLORBOND steel captures the light and energy that makes Australia's colours so unique. You'll find 22 unique colour choices to create the ideal look and feel for your home, so let your imagination run wild. It's a no-brainer really. COLORBOND steel is manufactured right here in Australia. It has been tested and tried for decades, and it is without a doubt one of Australia's most recognisable and best building brands. It's easily identifiable by its COLORBOND branding, so you know it is genuine. If you're half as excited about it as I am and you want to know more, get more inspiration, visit their website, colorbond.com.
There's no doubt that COLORBOND is an iconic product, and it's changed the way that we've built here in Australia. Also changing the way that we build is Shepard Constructions. They are just amazing. They continue to push the envelope, and every home they build is unique, just like this one. The owners are a retired couple, so they wanted a home to suit their specific needs, which included elements of luxury and glamour. Their brief also required space for occasional visitors to be able to stay. Borrowing heavily on traditional Georgian elements and wanting to create a true sense of height and space, a key approach was to lift the overall ceilings to 3 metres and even 3.3 metres in parts, so natural ambient light would be abundant. Shiny floor surfaces, including oversized porcelain tiles, have been incorporated to bounce and reflect all available light sources. The vaulted ceilings, enhanced by the fancy cornices, are a feature in themselves and add to the overall sense of luxury. There are 4 double bedrooms, the highlight of which is the opulent master suite, not only because of its sheer size, but also because of its inclusions, namely the ensuite and the walk-in robe. I'm sure that this walk-in robe is bigger than some bedrooms. It's just gorgeous. Now come on down the hallway. I'm now going to show you the guest wing, which is very much like the master suite. Ta-da! Very luxurious with, again, a walk-in robe and an ensuite. And there's 2 remaining bedrooms that share an oversized bathroom, freestanding bath, underfloor heating. Oh, perfect in winter. I tell you what, when people get older, they often like to retire and travel, but if I own this home, I wouldn't be going anywhere. I can't wait to show you the rest, but sit tight and I'll show you more after the break.
Building ideas. You want some building ideas? We got some building ideas. You want some building ideas? We got some building ideas.
One of the acronyms being bandied around these days is DIY. It seems every man and his dog wants to do something themselves around the home. And that's all well and good, especially when it comes to building and renovating. But trust me, having learnt from my own mistakes, I kind of look at it like this. If you've got a sore tooth, you go see a dentist. If your car's playing up, you go see a mechanic. The same should apply with your home renos. If you want to knock down a wall, you cannot go and do it yourself, because if you're like me, there's every chance that you'll knock down the whole house. Enter a master builder or a master tradie. Unless you're actively involved in the building industry, there's no way you'll be across all the available products, which is just one reason alone why you should engage a master builder or tradie. They're all professionally licensed and trained, so they have the technical know-how to make sure your new home or renovation will stand the test of time. Other than the practical reasons to reconsider doing a DIY, there's a few other pretty convincing ones as well. There's time, there's the energy, and also avoiding those unwanted grey hairs. If you get a professional to do it, they'll probably get it done right the first time. I also reckon, and hear me out on this, that you'll save on money. By the time you've done your research, you've gone to the shops, you've bought your equipment, tools, and got all of the things you need, and then you invest your time, I dare say you might have saved some money if you got a professional to do it instead. And finally, most importantly, I also reckon the safety component. You can't just go knocking down a wall yourself. It might be a load-bearing wall and you might not know it. A professional would. The last thing you want to do is have the wall falling over, hurting yourself or your loved ones and mates that you've had to rope in to give you a hand. Get a master builder, get a master tradie every time. I guess it's all about accepting your skill set and knowing your limitations too. Just because you've repainted a fence or sanded a table before doesn't necessarily mean you'll have the skills required to brick up a doorway or knock up an extension. So, to guarantee a job well done and to keep your sanity, which is equally as important, get in contact with a master builder. And to do so, visit the website, you all know it, mbasa.com.au.
I have to say, I've never really been a big fan of the DIY, especially when it comes to building-related work. I've given it a go, but surprise, surprise, it never looks as good as when the professionals do it. Now, that's exactly what the team at Shepard are. They are true professionals. They're award-winning master builders, and when you look around this home, it's easy to see why. Actually, I'd be hard-pressed to pick what my favourite aspect is, but I'd have to say the kitchen, meals and living area would be right up there. I love the parquetry flooring. It's timelessly classic and oh so elegant. The cabinetry is clean lined and the metallic finish is absolutely stunning. Again, the vaulted ceilings add to the overall appeal and the oversized doors enhance the feeling of space and grandeur. Picture book windows offering views to the meticulously groomed botanic-like gardens complete the picture perfectly. As you'd expect, only the best materials have been used in this residence and the clever design principles have been deployed right throughout. Take the alfresco area, which protects the kitchen from undesired heat entering into the home in summer, while the staggered western edge allows direct afternoon sun to penetrate the vast corner window in the northwest. There's no doubt that clever design principles go hand in hand with great building practices, and Alan Shepard and his team are the kings of that. I mean, check this out. This is just amazing. If you open it up, the butler's pantry. Hello, is there a butler in there? Wouldn't be surprised if there was. There's everything else. Coffee machines, steam ovens. Oh, it's just magnificent. This two-pack joinery, it's so gorgeous. Who needs a mirror when you can look? It's amazing. I'm getting excited only because down the other end is the laundry. You could just throw all the dirty stuff in there. It's beautiful. And I hazard to guess if Terry was here, his favourite room would be the media room. So we've just got to go and check that out. Again, the built-in joinery is a highlight, as is the fireplace with the recessed screen above it. And don't you just love the bulkheads with the LED light strip? It really adds to that cinematic feel. That's a wicked home theatre. In fact, this home has it all. Complete with al fresco area, entire outdoor kitchen. It's just amazing. In fact, I just want to settle in back there. But first of all, I'd like to show you what's on next week's show. We'll be hosting the program from another terrific master builder, this time Creative Home Renovations. They've just built a sensational new showroom in St Maurice, and we're in for a real treat there. I'm going to test drive a brand new Toyota. We'll learn how to minimise noise pollution when you're building or renovating, and we've got some handy energy safety tips that you can implement at home. Well, as is customary, it's shaping up to be another great show, so I hope you can join us then. Now, I think I'm not going to race off. I'm just going to pretend this house is mine. Now, butler, there was one, wasn't there? Champagne in the outdoor kitchen. What do you think?
It's time for
See you next week.
change.
Building ideas.
Dreaming is over.
Building ideas.
Building ideas got the answers you need. 'Cause the master builder's got you covered. Building ideas, gonna build it from the heart. Gonna show you how to make a start. We got ideas,
Building
a
ideas.
whole new direction.
Building ideas.
We got some building ideas.
Building Ideas is proudly brought to you by the Master Builders Association.